All right, so to continue where we left it at, we're gonna be sizing that beam that I mentioned to you before. So one thing I do sometimes is that I literally take a little notepad, and it's hard to see it, and I write down what the key elements are that I need to, think about. Tributary width, span length, on each direction, and I'll explain to you what it means on this software. So first thing is, what is it that we're sizing? So we're gonna be sizing a beam. And here at the bottom, the first thing that we have is this option for a beam. It's called uniformly loaded beam, okay? So it's right here. We're gonna click on that and we're gonna, the stroke call is gonna immediately show you that tab and it's gonna name it right here. And we can just rename it where it says location and call it, uh, floor beam one. And it could just be B1 for purposes of the drawings. So that's the name. What information is it asking me for? It's asking me for the span length. It's asking me for the live loads, which are automatically populated by straw call, knowing the code that we're using, which is the 2015 IBC and residential code. Then it asks for tributary width in each side. And then it asks for some point loads if you have anything sitting on it, like a column or anything like that. All right, in this case, we're not gonna worry about this part. And then here on the left is asking the kind of materials that we're using. So we're not going to be using a solid zone. If you want to know about the different types of woods or members and things like that, you should take my advanced structural calculation class. But for this, I'm going to just tell you we're going to go with a structural composite. And that's what we call LBLs. And the LBLs, well, some of them are LBLs, there are other type of members too, but LBLs what we're going to be sizing in here. So that's the type of a structural composite. There are multiple types of a structural composite. We're going to use the LBL section, and these are the different grades of the LBL, meaning from the least strong to the most strong, so the strongest. So I always like to start with the least strong, right? So we're going to go that because it's cheaper. So we want to save our clients some money. And then the other thing that we're gonna do is try to figure out what the size is. I already had a size on that document before. The size that we had was 1 3/4 by 11 1/4. Is that size proper? And it was two of them. So let's just check our math on that one. Check if it's right. So one that's gonna be 1 3/4 by 11 1/4. Right? So that is showing what we already have in there. The span length we decided or we measured is 26 feet 3. What do we do when it's 26 feet 3? Because the software doesn't want you to put 3 inches. It wants you to put it on decimal feet. You can either convert it or simply do what I do all the time. I round up. So if it's going to be 26 feet, 0.5, it means 26 feet 6 inches. Why? Because we want to always oversize a little bit. It's not good to oversize by a lot, but a little bit is not bad. So that's already the span. And then we're going to change the tributary width. So the tributary width on one side, let's say on the left, is 5'2". We're going to call that 5'6". So 5.5. And in the other side, it says it's going to be 6'7". In that case, I can put 6.8 and that works. That should work. So, or you can put, yeah, 6.8 should work. That's fine. Right? So that's great. Now we have our sizes, its tributary width, and we send its two members. And then there is this calculate button at the bottom that says calculate. So you click on it and it tells you whether it passes or not. And it says it fails. Its structural calculation adequacies or undersized by 892%. It doesn't pass. We kind of know that. I already knew that, but we did it to check the math. So what do we do? Well, we can either increase the size of the grade, the type of grade, and see what it does. And it does reduce it from 800 to 600, but we know it's not going to be enough. I mean, its span is 26 feet, 26 feet 6 inches. That's a very long span. So my recommendation is to go to a deeper beam. All right. And you can go, you can test them all, let's say 16 feet deep. That means 16 inches deep. 16 inches deep, still not adequate. All right. You can either increase the amount of them that there is, say, okay, instead of 2, let's do 3. And it does help by a lot. So now it's only 64% inadequate. but really it needs to be something like 18 inches, the depth of it. So when you do that, run it up, it's 15. Well, even 18 inches doesn't cover it. It's very, 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 very bad. Even though that's the deepest that LBLs can come up with, at least with this software, you cannot do that one. So what do we do? So then instead of saying 3, you're gonna put 4 of them. 4 of them passes by 15%. That's adequate. That's enough. That's exactly what you need to do. And in your drawings, you can either call it out APA, EWS, LVL, 2 point, and say 4 of them. That's what we're gonna need to do for this program. The other option is you can redesign it so that you don't have to span that long, put a column on it so that it's not spanning that long and things like that. So, but here I'm just trying to show you how you check your math and how you size a uniformly loaded beam, and how you basically finish that. All right, so thank you. Try to size joists just like that. Try to size other members just like that. The procedures are exactly the same.